We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those courts have.
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait,
do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to follow your own
word,
word, Director Patel. You said up there it was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the black book.
Everything I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
Complete your sentence. Everything you have direct control over, you said.
Have gone to court, and everything we have direct control over.
Complete your sentence. You said everything.
Watch this, because this is the moment Kash Patel got cornered on live television and had no way out. This is the FBI director of the United States sitting in front of Congress, unable to answer one simple question. Not a trick question, not a gotcha, just his own words read back to him word for word, and he crumbled.
Yields back. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman. Director Patel, before you joined the FBI, you railed against it for covering up Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. Let me refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale? Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished that December 2023 interview with a challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public. You can see this clip.
Boy pants, and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are, you said. You emphasized that the president and the FBI director each had complete authority to release Epstein's client list. You said Epstein's black book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. Look at this clip.
This is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
black book?
Black book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
All right, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the black book is under your direct control. So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the black book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there,
That's
the black
exactly
book under the direct control of the FBI director.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material, and they never did. And if you are selling the men and women of the FBI, we're not going after child predators. Hang on, you said we're not going after child predators. 1,500 child predators arrested this year, 35% increase.
I'll reclaim my time.
Jamie Raskin didn't even raise his voice. He didn't need to. He just let Kash Patel's own past statements do the damage. And by the end of it, the director of the FBI looked like a man who had been caught lying to the American people in real time. Stay with us, because what you're about to see is exactly why so many people don't trust this FBI anymore.
100 child victims.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to reclaim my time if you could instruct the witness. Why have you changed your position? There you were saying it's under the direct control of the FBI director and all of it should be released. Why have you changed your position?
Everything that has been lawfully permitted to be released has been released. And as I told you, the investigation was limited. And let me make something crystal clear. I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic other people, other women, and they're not other victims. This is the investigation we were given from 2006, 7, and 8, and the search warrants from 2006, 7, and 8. That's what we're working with.
Well, wait, have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house? The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to release.
Which court are you talking about?
3 separate federal courts have come in and said...
We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those courts have.
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait,
do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to follow your own word, Director Patel. You said up there it was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the black book.
Everything I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
Complete your sentence. Everything you have direct control over, you said.
Have gone to court, and everything we have direct control over.
Complete your sentence. You said everything.
Release. We're releasing.
He'd like to complete his answer.
You began the sentence, everything you have direct control over, and then you stopped that sentence. You've released everything that you have direct control over?
Let's talk about what real accountability looks like, because that's what just happened here, and it's rare. Kash Patel spent years as a media personality, a podcast guy, a guy who built a whole brand out of being furious that the FBI was protecting Jeffrey Epstein's network. He said it plainly over and over before he ever had the job. He said the FBI was sitting on Epstein's list. He said withholding it was evil. He said whoever's name was on it didn't matter. The truth mattered. Then he got the job. And suddenly, the same guy who demanded the FBI put on their big boy pants and release the names, the same guy who said flat out that the Epstein files were under the direct personal control of the FBI director, became the guy running out the clock, hiding behind court orders, and lecturing Congress about how much he's already released. That's not an evolution. That's not new information changed my mind.
Have direct control over and can lawfully release. If you're not familiar with the court orders, that's not my fault.
Oh, I'm
Go
perfectly,
look at them.
I'm
Go
perfectly
to
familiar
court.
with them. But how did we prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was prosecuted with the investigatory material that was collected from 2001 and 2005 because of the non-prosecution agreements and the court orders on the investigations and search warrants. We were not able to develop new information. And oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein was out for 12 years, and the Obama and Biden administration did nothing to look at his work, his pedophile network. If you want to blame me, that's fine. But now you're blaming the men and women who conducted this
stop
great
that.
search.
I'm not blaming anybody other than you. You're not keeping your word. You said that you would release all of the materials
Has
under your
anyone
direct
released
control.
more information on Epstein than I have? Has anyone?
Much
did
more.
Comey? Did Ray?
Much
Did
more.
they?
Excuse me. Much more has come out in the days since the American people and Congress have been demanding it. But it's coming out in dribs and drabs. Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
I literally just told you, there are multiple federal court orders. I'm not going to break the law to satisfy your curiosity. You didn't join us when we filed court to release the court orders. You could have. You have lawyers. You could have shown up. You didn't do that.
That's a tiny fraction of the material we're talking about.
That is not.
It is a tiny fraction.
How do you know that? Have you seen everything?
It's all misdirection.
How do you
The
know
time
that?
of the gentleman has expired. The gentleman from California.
That's a man who got exactly the power he said he needed to fix this and immediately decided the cover-up he used to scream about was actually fine as long as he was the one running it. Jamie Raskin saw right through it. He didn't lecture. He didn't perform. He just did the thing good oversight is supposed to do. He held up a mirror. He played Patel's own words back to him, then asked him to explain the gap between what he promised and what he's done. And Patel never closed that gap. Not once. Instead, he did what people do when they don't have an answer. He changed the subject. He brought up arrest numbers that have nothing to do with the question. He brought up the Obama and Biden administrations, like blaming other people for 12 years of inaction, excuses him for the last 200 plus days. He's personally had the black book in his hands. He got combative with a sitting member of Congress instead of just answering. And here's the part that should make you furious. When Raskin asked him directly why he changed his position, Patel didn't say the position was wrong. He didn't say he misspoke back when he was a private citizen selling books and building an audience off Epstein outrage. He said everything lawfully permitted has been released. That's a lawyer's answer. That's not the guy from the podcast. That's not the guy who said the director had direct control and should just release it. That's a man protecting an institution he swore he'd expose. Ask yourself something. If the FBI director's personal opinion on Epstein flips the second he gets access to the actual files, what does that tell you about what's actually in those files? Because Kash Patel didn't get less angry about a cover-up, he got quiet. And quiet from the man who used to be the loudest voice demanding transparency is not an accident. Raskin pressed him on the physical evidence too. The computers, the emails, the financial records. The file cabinets seized from Epstein's own house. Patel's answer was the same dodge over and over. Courts, courts, courts. But nobody asked him to break a law. They asked him why, after promising total transparency, he's suddenly the most cautious, most lawyered up, most careful man in Washington the moment it's his own agency's conduct on the line. And when Raskin tried to get him to just finish a sentence, Patel wouldn't even do that. He kept cutting himself off mid-thought because finishing the sentence honestly would have meant admitting he hasn't released everything he has direct control over, exactly like he promised he would. This is what it looks like when a system protects itself, not with some dramatic conspiracy, just with a man in a suit in front of cameras running out a 5-minute clock by talking about anything except the question in front of him. The women trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein are still waiting for the full truth. The public that elected people to hold the FBI accountable is still waiting. And the man who once said the FBI was protecting the greatest predator in history is now the one deciding what the public gets to see. Jamie Raskin didn't let him off the hook. That's oversight actually working for once. The only question left is whether anyone with the power to force the rest of those files into the open is actually going to do it, or whether this was just another hearing where the cameras turned off and nothing changed. Kash Patel promised accountability before he had power. Now that he has it, he's protecting the same silence he used to condemn. Jamie Raskin held him to his own word, and Patel couldn't answer for it. If this made you as angry as it made us, subscribe, because we're not letting this go until the full truth comes out.